You know that thing where you're lying in bed at 2 a.m., refreshing the news for the 10th time, even though nothing has changed in the last 5 minutes. Your brain knows you should sleep. Your body is exhausted, but your thumb just keeps scrolling, looking for updates, checking again, one more refresh. That's not weakness. That's not a lack of self-control. And it's definitely not something wrong with you. According to research on information-seeking behavior, your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do when it senses danger nearby. The problem is, your ancient survival system doesn't understand the difference between a real immediate threat and a glowing rectangle, showing you threats happening thousands of miles away. Here's the psychology behind why you can't stop doomscrolling, and why your brain keeps pulling you back to the news even when it hurts. If you've ever felt trapped in this cycle, you're not alone. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, because understanding why you do this is the first step to breaking free. 1. Your brain treats information like oxygen when it senses danger. When humans lived in small tribes, knowing about nearby threats was literally survival. If there was danger in the area, the people who stayed alert and gathered information lived. The people who didn't. Your brain still operates on that ancient software. When you sense something threatening in your environment, even if it's happening on a screen, your brain enters what psychologists call hypervigilance mode. You need to know what's happening. You need updates. Information feels like safety. Research from the American Psychological Association found that during crisis periods, information-seeking behavior spikes dramatically, not because people need the information, but because gathering it temporarily reduces anxiety. Your brain thinks, if I just know everything that's happening, I can prepare, I can protect myself. But here's the trap. Modern news is designed to never let you feel fully informed. There's always another update, another angle, another development. Your brain keeps seeking the sense of safety that complete information promises, but that moment never comes. 2. You're confusing monitoring with control. When you doom scroll, your brain is trying to answer an unconscious question. If I stay informed, can I influence the outcome? On some level, scrolling feels like doing something, like you're participating, like you have some control over events that feel chaotic and overwhelming. Psychologists call this the illusion of control through information. Studies on anxiety show that when people feel powerless over a situation, they compensate by over-monitoring it. The monitoring creates a false sense of agency. I'm staying on top of this. I'm not helpless. I'm informed. But information without action just feeds anxiety. You're not actually safer because you read 17 takes on the same event. You're not more prepared because you refreshed the page 40 times. You're just more exhausted and more anxious. The cruel irony: the more powerless you actually feel, the more you scroll. Your brain is trying to regain control by staying hyper-informed, but that very behavior reinforces the feeling of helplessness. You're stuck in a loop. 3. Your nervous system is trauma bonding with the news cycle. This is the part that sounds extreme but explains so much. Your relationship with doom scrolling follows the exact same psychological pattern as trauma bonding in abusive relationships. Trauma bonding happens through intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable moments of relief between long stretches of stress. Your nervous system gets addicted to the pattern, the anxiety, the brief relief, the anxiety again. The cycle becomes the relationship. That's what's happening when you doom scroll. You feel anxious, so you check the news. For a moment you get relief. I'm informed. I know what's happening. Then new information creates more anxiety, so you check again, hoping for relief again. The cycle hooks you. Research on news consumption during crises shows that people develop what psychologists call compulsive monitoring. It's not about staying informed anymore. It's about managing the anxiety that the information itself created. You're not watching the news. You're in a relationship with it. And like any toxic relationship, it's hard to leave even when you know it's hurting you. 4. You're afraid of missing the moment. Everything changes. There's a specific kind of fear that drives doom scrolling. It's not just fear of bad things happening. It's fear of bad things happening and you not knowing immediately. What if something major happens while I'm not looking? What if I miss the update that actually matters? What if everyone else knows something I don't? This is FOMO, but weaponized. Fear of missing out on critical information. Your brain has convinced itself that the moment you stop watching is the moment everything will change and you'll be caught unprepared. But here's what nobody tells you. The things that actually require your immediate action, you'll find out about them. Someone will tell you. An alert will go off. The truly urgent information finds you. Everything else is just noise. Your brain has convinced itself is essential. The exhausting truth is that you're not watching for information anymore. You're watching so you don't feel left out of the collective anxiety. You're doom scrolling to stay connected to other people's fear. 5. The dopamine loop keeps you hooked like a slot machine. Every time you refresh the page, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, not because the news is good, because there might be something new. The unpredictability is what creates the addiction. Neuroscientists have studied this extensively. Dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about anticipation. Your brain releases it when it thinks a reward might be coming. Slot machines exploit this perfectly. Unpredictable rewards delivered on an unpredictable schedule create the strongest form of behavioral addiction. That's exactly how the news cycle works. Most refreshes show nothing new, but occasionally there's an update. Something changed. That intermittent reinforcement is more addictive than getting new information every single time. Your brain gets hooked on the maybe. And social media companies know this. They've designed infinite scroll, push notifications, and real-time updates to exploit your brain's dopamine system. You're not weak for getting trapped. You're up against billion-dollar algorithms designed specifically to keep you scrolling. Your biology didn't stand a chance. 6. You feel guilty for not watching and helpless when you do. This is the final trap that makes doom scrolling so painful. You're stuck between two terrible feelings. When you're not watching, you feel guilty, like you're ignoring important things, like you should care more, like being uninformed makes you complicit. But when you are watching, you feel helpless, because you're witnessing terrible things you can't fix. You're absorbing other people's pain without being able to help. Research on vicarious trauma shows that constant exposure to others' suffering, even through screens, creates the same stress responses as direct trauma. So you scroll to ease the guilt, which creates helplessness. Then you stop to escape the helplessness, which creates guilt. You can't win. Your brain has created a no-exit situation where both choices feel wrong. And the worst part, neither scrolling nor not scrolling actually changes anything happening in the world. You're just choosing which way you want to suffer, guilty or helpless, informed or ignorant, anxious or disconnected. The options all hurt. So what does all this mean? If you can't stop doom scrolling, you're not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. Monitor threats, seek safety through information, try to regain control when things feel chaotic. The problem isn't you, it's that your Stone Age brain is plugged into a 24/7 global news infrastructure, specifically designed to exploit those exact instincts. Here's what actually helps. Not trying harder to resist, but understanding that your nervous system is stuck in a loop. It can't escape alone. Information will not make you safe. Monitoring will not give you control. And watching will not ease the guilt of things you cannot fix. Your brain needs permission to stop watching, because the world will keep turning, whether you're scrolling or not. And you need to rest. If this hit home, drop a comment. And if you're ready to understand more patterns that keep you trapped, subscribe, because awareness is the first step to breaking free.